This podcast was recorded on March 11th, 2020, before the statewide shelter-in-place was ordered.
All right, everybody, welcome to the show, the One Amazing Life podcast. My name is Chris Stewart. I'm your co-host. As always, I'm here with my main man. His name is...
Jamie.
What's going on, buddy? Good to see you.
I don't think I've ever said my name like that before on the intro to the show. That's a first.
You have a level of enthusiasm that you've never had on the show either tonight, I'll tell you.
You know why?
Why?
Because today we celebrated your 50th birthday.
Whoa.
50
you know what
years.
I know, right? In dog years, I'm like Old Man River right now. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable.
I think you'd be like double dead by now if you were a dog.
God has been good to me. You know
Amen.
what I mean? Yeah.
Amen.
It is. It's a celebration. We are celebrating today, that's for sure.
That's right. The other thing I also want to point out about Chris is today he is not wearing his suit coat. He's wearing a T-shirt and the tattoos are out.
Oh, yeah.
In full effect. So maybe that's bringing it out in me. I'm just getting a little excited.
I'm making a statement today. You know what I mean? It's like my birthday week. I'll just do what I do. You know what? Here's an interesting point, though, real quick before we get started. So I'm wearing this shirt, right? It's a Portland, Oregon Firefighter shirt. You guys know how much I love firefighters. I rep them on the show all the time. Thanks for your service out there. And I'm wearing this shirt because this is the same shirt that I wore when we demoed this room and turned it into the palace that it is now for our high school kids. You remember that? We came in here and we remodeled our whole room, and that's how we got this studio set up. That's how we got the music stuff set up. We got a killer table and all that. So I wore this in honor because tonight we're talking with seniors. That's what's going on.
Okay,
right?
that's right.
And so I'm doing it in honor of them to remind them what they built before they go on to their next chapter in life. That's why I'm doing that. That's what's up.
Love it.
As first off, we definitely want to thank our producer, Patrick, for making this show happen. So thank you again, Patrick. You rock. And you know what? Let's get started, man. We're a whopping show, man. We got 7 guests on, all seniors in high school.
We're setting a record tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be out of control. I hope you guys are ready. This could be the best show ever. I'm excited. You ready? Let's do this thing.
I'm
going to kick it off. Let's introduce our guests. First off, to my left, let's start with you.
My name is Liam Thrift. I'm 17 years old, and my favorite animal is a peacock.
Now, Liam, just so you know, plays like lead guitar in our praise band, and the guy kills it, man. Oh.
Loving it.
We love him here.
Great job, Liam.
Thanks for being a part of the show. And to your left is...
My name's Mackenzie. My favorite animal is a giraffe, and I'm 18 years old.
Nice. And giraffe, I mean, have you ever ridden one? It looks like that would be fun.
No, I haven't.
No?
But since I'm so short and giraffes are so tall, I just kind of wish I was as tall as a giraffe. So that's why they're my favorite.
Oh, man,
that's well
thought
out. That's well thought out.
Yeah, that is well thought out.
Thank you.
All right, to your left, we have a veteran of the show. This guy's been on the show so many times, I feel like he might be one of the co-hosts. You know what I mean?
I think he is.
Let's give it up for him. You know who he is. Rep it, buddy. Who are you?
I'm Ben. I'm 17 years old. I like mac and cheese.
Yeah, you do.
Like a lot.
All right. I like it. All right, and to your left.
Hi, I'm Paige, and my favorite food is tacos.
Any particular kind?
I'm going to sound really basic here, but the Rubio's street tacos are some of my favorites. My go-to.
We might have a corporate sponsor out of that. Did you
I
hear
think
that?
could happen. Hey, Rubio,
right?
Ralph, where you at, buddy?
Man, it's like she comes
Help
on
out
the
here.
show, she starts talking corporate sponsorship. We need to have her back on the show already, man. I'm going to put a check mark next to her name.
She's thinking
I like
ahead.
it.
That's good.
Okay, to your left, we have...
My name is Jacob. My favorite animal is a platypus, and I'm 17.
Now... Did you just pick that animal because nobody really knows about that animal? Isn't that like a made-up animal? Has anybody actually ever seen one?
That is not a made-up animal. No, platypi are really sick.
Really?
Wow.
Was that like a plural? That sounds like a gang all of a sudden.
I think so.
Is that like a gang over on the east side of San Diego, Jacob? I mean, the guy's new on the show. He's kind of suspect already. I'll be honest with you. I'm red flagging that kid. You know? Okay. Let's see how this is going. All right, and to your left, we have...
Hi, I'm Nikki, and I'm 17 years old, and my favorite animal is an elephant.
And why is that?
I don't know.
Because they're awesome, that's why.
Yeah.
Have you ever ridden one of those?
No.
You can, I've seen it. Pictures of it.
Yeah, I want to.
Yeah. All right, we'll see what we can do. You got graduation coming up. We'll see maybe we can arrange something.
Okay.
And to your left, we have our final guest. She is...
I'm Keeley. I'm 17. And my favorite food is frozen grapes.
Frozen grapes? It's like, everybody has to outdo each other. Is that what it is?
Frozen grapes?
Would that be green, purple?
Purple.
Oh, really?
Yeah, purple.
Now, how did that come about? I'm curious because that needs a better explanation.
Have you never had one?
Oh, I have, but I mean, for our listeners, you got to remember people listen all over the world around this show. So I mean, it's
And I never have had a frozen grape ever in my life.
yeah.
so-
There could be some people, in other countries that have never even heard of this. They're like, what are we listening to?
We got time.
Well, I mean, do you put them in ice cube trays? I mean, do you just put them in the bag?
So
Like,
what
does
I
that
do-
look like? I mean, like, do you dip them in yogurt first? I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to find out. It sounds
Okay,
like,
so you buy grapes like at the store.
Okay.
And then you pick them off the branches
Sure.
and you put them in a zip. You put them in a Ziploc bag. Oh, you have to wash them.
yeah, wash them. Don't safety first.
All
Safety
right.
first, please.
I don't know if I'm ever going to eat frozen grapes based on
You
this
know what?
conversation.
I'm going to put some in the freezer.
So you
tonight.
wash them, then you put them in a Ziploc bag, and then you put them in the freezer. That's it.
Okay, sweet. There you go. Frozen
Wow.
grapes, man.
Hey,
coming at
I'm
you.
wondering, Chris, what's your favorite food? Because for me, my favorite food and my favorite animal are the same thing. It's a chicken.
Oh, I love chicken.
I love chicken,
I love
and I
chicken
love to
too.
eat chicken.
Yeah.
That feels like that's probably wrong, though.
I don't think so. I think that
Okay.
you can have that because, I mean, the chicken, it's delicious. It really is, right? And plus, I don't know why it would be your favorite animal, though. That's a little bit odd, but...
Well, I don't really like animals, so.
Well, okay, you know what? Then it's perfect. My favorite food, though, is, hands down, caprese salad.
That's right.
That's right. You remember that? I
Right.
told you.
I've
This. You've
had-
traveled with me.
I have.
You've traveled, and everywhere. If I go to a restaurant, Italian restaurant, I'm like, you got the caprese salad because that's what I
right.
love. Fresh heirloom tomatoes with buffalo mozzarella cheese, some fresh cut basil, some olive oil, maybe a little bit of balsamic on there. If you can toss some jalapenos on there, I'm yours forever.
You know
baby.
what?
You know what I mean? Like that's what's up.
I will have that over frozen grapes any day of the week.
I feel like
And twice on
if you
Sunday.
had like a caprese salad as like your entree, and then you had some frozen grapes, you'd be like killing it. Especially if you're in Italy, right? I mean, it'd be like, oh, you're living the dream. We got a room full of seniors here, Jamie, and
That's right.
that means we're gonna dive deep. You ready to dive deep? Because
I'm ready to jump right in.
So you guys are getting ready to move on to college, or not? It's kind of a scary proposition. I mean, as far as you got to come up with some cash, you got to be accepted, you got to pass some tests. I mean, let's just start off with that, and then we're going to talk about your high school career and what that was like, because the kids want to know, right? This is a show for teens, by teens. Me and Jamie are just here to kind of keep things moving, but really the rest of the show will be dedicated to you. So thanks again for being on the show, everybody. Now, Paige, are you planning on going to college, first of all?
I am, yes.
Okay. And what are maybe some of the colleges that you're thinking about that you want to go to? Have you thought about that yet?
So yeah, I've definitely thought a little bit about it. I am looking more towards out-of-state colleges, so places outside of California, just because I have grown up here my whole life, and I just want to try something a little bit different. I know I'm going to probably end up coming back here, and I want to live here later, so I feel like now is one of the only chances to kind of just try something a little bit different. I think my top two colleges right now are Texas Christian University in Fort Worth, and then the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor.
Okay,
So-
I'm going to go for TCU, not just because it's Christian school, because it's a lot warmer. And if I'm traveling around the country, I'm going to visit you. I'm probably not coming to Michigan. Okay, I just want to point that out. All right, so, I mean, I hope that doesn't sway your decision, but just want to throw that out there. So what's it like? What's the interview process like to get into a school like that? Just out of curiosity for the rest of our kids listening.
Yeah, so a lot of schools actually don't offer interviews, and most of them are optional. So while you're applying for schools, you'll kind of click a little box that says you'd be up for an optional interview. So then once usually after you're accepted, or maybe if you're kind of on the edge, you'll have some of their admissions people reach out to you through email and just kind of say, hey, we have an alumni in your area. Do you want to meet them at a local coffee shop? So I've met a couple people at a Starbucks, just a couple minutes away, and they just kind of want to get to know you a little bit more, you outside of your grades and outside of on a piece of paper. So it's usually, they're not stressful. They're pretty casual conversations where they just want to know a little bit more about you and your extracurriculars and what you like and stuff like that.
Get to know the whole person, huh?
Yeah.
I like that. That sounds cool. Now, Liam, what about you, man? I mean, you love music. I know that. Is music going to be part of your college curriculum? Are you going to school for something different and music kind of like a hobby?
For me, I'm actually going to be double majoring. I'm double majoring in songwriting and fashion design.
Yeah. Any
like
schools?
it.
Have you thought about going to any particular schools?
Yes, so I have 3 schools that I am looking at right now: NYU, Belmont in Nashville, and University of Miami.
Man.
All great schools,
Oh, yeah,
but
definitely.
none of them close. So I'm a little sad.
I was going to say that same thing, man. I'm bummed away. Keeley, what about you? You planning on going to college? What are you going to do?
Yeah, I am planning on going to college. I'm not sure yet where, but we're in the process.
Okay. What are you thinking about majoring in? Do you have anything in particular that you want to study while you're there, or are you just going to kind of roll with it and see what happens?
Probably roll with it. I'm now in like business, kind of going down the business path, but I'm probably just going to see like what my interests are once I get to college.
Okay. Mackenzie, I know we were just talking before the show, and there's like been a few issues with schools right now and colleges, and I know that you're a little stressed about that. What exactly is going on? Because this is like, when people listen to the show, you might not be having this problem in other parts of the world, but what are we having a problem with here?
So right now I applied to like a bunch of different schools and I've gotten into a significant amount, but a lot of the colleges that I applied to I hadn't seen yet and I haven't visited, and I was planning on going like within the coming months, but because of the coronavirus outbreak, a lot of the schools that I want to go to are either shut down and all their students are home, or like my parents don't want to travel on planes and like leave because they're scared of getting the coronavirus. And so I was just stressed because one of my top schools, which is University of Washington, I got into, but I really wanted to see it in person before I committed because I can't see myself committing to a school I've never been to. But like Washington in particular is like rampant with coronavirus right now. So I either have to like wait it out or just, I don't really know, but I was just stressed out because I really want to see it before I commit to it. And my parents don't want to travel, so that's...
This is where prayer comes in, you know what I mean? That's a big vote for prayer right there. Jacob, what about you? Any plans for college?
Yeah, I've applied to like 12 or 13 schools. I've heard back from maybe like half of them, and then probably end of March, early April, I'll hear from all of them. So I'm not really sure where I want to go yet, but I have a pretty good idea of like...
What's like top 3?
Top 3 would be University of Southern California, UCLA, and then Vanderbilt, which is in Nashville.
Yeah.
So those are my top 3. I haven't heard back from those
are
3
all
yet.
great schools.
Yeah, those are the top ones, but I haven't heard back from them yet, so fingers crossed.
I know, Jimmy. I feel like we're sitting amongst like the elite over here, man. These kids are like
I know,
on
I'm
point
kind of
right
like
now.
backing away.
Yeah, right. Nikki, what about you?
I will probably end up at DePaul University in Chicago, and I want to study education or like psychology, something in that area.
Perfect. What's your end goal for that?
Either for education, I love working with like special ed kids,
Okay.
which I do a lot with at the school that I go to now, or for psychology, I love working with like little kids, so to help them like understand more about what's going on with them.
So something working with kids.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking at. Mm-hmm. I love it. That's awesome. Ben, what about you? What's the plan after high school?
I'm gonna head to community college, then finish it off at a university.
Nice. What are you thinking about doing for a major?
I wanted to do psychology like Nikki, but the world is my oyster. I have no idea what I'm gonna do.
You know what?
Amen, brother. Amen to
right?
that.
Ben, I feel like the world could use your psychology. You're very insightful, you know, and people love you too. That's why you've been on the show so many times. You know what I mean? We get a lot of requests for you to be on the show. So let's dive deep. What's the Mackenzie? What was your favorite memory in high school? Like, what was like something that happened to you or whatever that where you just look back and like, man, that was like one of the best days ever.
Like the first thing that came to mind was going to camp every summer. And I know that's not like something that went on at school or was put on by school, but by far that's been my favorite like high school memories and middle school. But like I feel like high school summer camp is a lot better than middle school. And high school summer camp is when me and Nikki started coming with One Youth to Forest Home. So definitely every summer since freshman year, that's been my favorite part.
I love it, man. Everybody loves camp,
I didn't even
right?
pay her to say that.
Right? I feel like Forest Home should be our sponsor.
That's right.
Is that
Forest
I mean,
Home out there.
Yeah, I know they're listening right now, too. So, Paige, what about you? What's one of your favorite high school memories?
Some of my favorite memories probably were just playing sports at Torrey Pines. Just being on a team representing the school was super fun. And my freshman year, I just kind of got into field hockey just because of my friends. And through that, I feel like I met a lot of new people, and a sport that I was just going to play for fun to like meet people turned into something that I ended up doing all 4 years.
And what sport did you play?
That was field hockey.
Okay, field hockey.
So I did field hockey and soccer. But field hockey was more one I was just going to do just because and just to meet people my freshman year. But I ended up like kind of falling in love with it. It was a really random sport, but I had a lot of fun with it, and I made a lot of close friends from that. So
nice. I like that. Jacob, what about you, man? What's one of your favorite high school memories?
Well, of course, sports, and like Mackenzie and Paige said, sports and Forest Home were definitely one of my favorites as well. I think one thing that's really awesome about high school is you have a chance to meet many different types of people and many different groups and kind of have multiple people to hang out with rather than just like your same 4 friends. Like I feel like in college, I mean, in middle school, you kind of had like the same 5 groups that you'd hang out with every weekend. And then now I kind of have more people to hang out with. And I think especially senior year, the senior class kind of becomes more closely knit. So it's easier to make more friends within your senior group because like this is your last year.
Can you tell us about a recent occurrence with one of your sports teams, your soccer player? You guys just achieved something that's significant.
Yeah. Recently, my high school soccer team won the San Diego CIF championship.
There we go.
Back to back. So last year we won it. This year we won it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Keeley, now I'm going to ask you something different. What was one of the most challenging things that you had to deal with in high school? Was there like a time when you didn't, I don't know, feel like you fit in, or was there a time when you were struggling with your grades, or there was just like a time where you just like didn't like high school at all?
Yeah, I mean, there's always those rough patches because it's it's a very like important 4 years of your life. I think for me, I've played sports all throughout my high school career. So I think balancing school and sports and friends and family and church, like it was really hard at one point just to like get the priorities right and stuff like that. But I think once you start to get older and you start to experience it more, like I've played since I was a freshman. So now I kind of get what it's about and how to manage everything. But I think a tip that I probably would have wanted earlier is to like stay ahead of things and prioritize right, because at times you can get a little ahead of yourself. So I think just like playing sports and having extracurriculars and being involved in your church and all that kind of stuff kind of is probably a challenging part of high school because you want to be involved, you know.
Yeah, I can see that definitely. Liam, what about you, man? What was one of the most challenging things for you going through high school?
AP Calculus. That was a really hard class. Like, let me tell you, I was up for hours and hours each night doing homework.
But you made it through.
I made it through, fortunately.
And how much was prayer involved in that, just out of curiosity?
There was a lot of, I had a test the next day and being like, okay, it's like 1 a.m. I'm going to go to bed. I hope that the rest of the chapter that I didn't read will just pop up in my brain.
And did it?
It never did. And my grade reflected that, let me tell you.
Yeah. Good to know. Well, it prepares you for college, right? And everything's for a reason. So you're still ready to go. Ben, what's been like the best thing about high school for you? Did you go to prom? Any prom? Never?
Not yet, no.
Oh, well, you
This
planning?
I heard it
Yeah.
not yet. It sounds like
Does
it's
that
going to
mean
happen.
you plan on going this year?
Yeah,
Okay. Are you excited for that?
I guess.
I'm just asking, right? I mean, it looks like fun. I never went.
Hey, the world's his oyster.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
This guy's going to prom.
Yeah. Well, okay, then let's backtrack a little bit. Give us a highlight from your high school career. Was there like a certain friend that you met there? Is there a certain teacher that you met? Was there a...
High school was chill. I just liked at our school that we could get the actual high school experience, you know, with all the different groups and stuff. It wasn't too easy, but it wasn't too like hard, I guess.
Cool.
Nice.
Hey, I got a question for you guys. Maybe someone raise your hand if you're feeling it. Is senioritis a real thing or is it made up? Who wants to answer that?
So personally, senioritis is a very real thing. Ever since I was little, school's always been like a number one priority for me. And freshman through junior year, I would never, ever skip, ditch a class. It wouldn't happen. Well, we've gotten to a point where I miss my third period at least like twice a week. On a good week, it's once a week. And that class is every single day. And I, like, literally yesterday, I think it was, I saw Paige while I was walking to third period, and she literally stopped what she was doing and was like, "Are you going to third?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "I'm so proud of you. Good job." And then I saw Keeley and I was like, "I really can't do it." And she like grabbed my hand. She's like, "Come on, like you can do it." And like we walked together. But it's very real. Like there's just classes that I just can't. And just I wake up in the morning and I'm like, "Oh, not today." Like I just can't do it. And that's just it. That was never like me. So I really do think it's a very real thing.
One more follow for you guys on this too, because there's like this expectation that is out there. I don't know if you guys like caught it, that your senior year is like the best year of high school. You're gonna have a great group of friends. You're gonna figure out that you get into some college. It's gonna be great. You're gonna have the right girlfriend or boyfriend. Everyone's gonna get along. It's gonna be like one nonstop party. Like people kind of have that image or throw it out there. How is that like maybe a little bit true, and how is that like not true at all?
I think that when people tend to think along those lines, they tend to be more disappointed in the result that comes, because if your thought is that senior year is going to be this all-time high where just all of your like everything's just perfect and you don't have to try hard in your classes because colleges don't care at this point, I think that's the total opposite mindset you should have, because really when people start to think like that, they can tend to over fantasize what like actually might happen your senior year. And when that happens, like you won't get everything you really want to come out of your senior year. You won't get it, but you will get some really great things and learn some amazing things that'll help you for college. So
I like it. Listen, I want to dive a little bit deeper with people that are listening. You know, we have kids of all ages that listen to this show, but you know, I want to find out, what was the hardest test of your faith in your high school career? Was it like dealing with peer pressure? Was it dealing with relationships, you know, like starting to get into romantic relationships? Was it like watching your language, or not you watching your language, but just other people's language? Was it, was there violence in your schools? Like, what was it, you know, that was something that was kind of like you didn't really need to deal with in your life that you had to deal with just because it was there? Or something that you didn't really see coming that maybe you had to deal with that kind of really made you stronger in your faith or, you know, kind of also tested you?
I said for me, it was just we're all so busy, and especially for me, example, I played soccer, and that was every single day, and then I went back and I had to study, and then that was every single day, and then you know you kind of have this expectation to always be hanging out with friends and keep your social groups up, and that was every weekend. So I think one thing that was challenging for me is that I kind of strayed away from my faith after a while. And I was just so busy. Oh, I have soccer practice. I can't come to youth group today or something like that. So I think at times I felt like I was kind of straying away from my faith, which was kind of stressful in itself. And then trying to find time to come back and put another relationship with God. But it's kind of hard. So I think now that the season's over, I can finally come back to it. But for the times that I was busy, which was the entire almost like a year now, it was definitely very stressful.
Nice. You know what? The most important day that each of us has is today, right? It's not tomorrow because we can't deal with that right now. We're in today, and it's not yesterday because we can't change it. And today you're here, man, which is great. So I just want to say,
I'm happy.
Yeah,
I mean, you picked a great day to be here, right?
That's exactly right.
My birthday.
Exactly right.
Oh, and the podcast. I mean, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's like
in that order.
Yeah, right?
In that order.
Cool. All right. So, before we wrap up the show here, I really want to find out, now that you're seniors, you guys have lived through the last 4 years. You're getting close to the end. You can kind of see the end. Well, on this show, we always give back, right? So I want to hear from each and every one of you on some piece of advice that you can give to somebody that's maybe a freshman this year or even a sophomore, anybody that's below you in school. Like, what's something that you can give them as like a ray of hope or something for them to kind of latch on to for when they're going through hard times?
I think the best advice to give is that there are no shortcuts and that you really have to put the work in to get to have the end result that you want, and you cannot just assume that it will come to you. You have to really go get it.
That's sound advice for life, period. I'll tell you that, right?
That's right.
Woo. Mackenzie, what about you?
I think my biggest piece of advice for a freshman would probably be, I would say, just do everything. Go to everything and try things out. Because for me, I wouldn't say I regret, but sometimes I wish that I tried out more things or went to more events, because high school is a time where you get to try new things. And now that I look back on it, it's wow, I really wish I went to more football games. I'm kind of going to miss it. And in the moment, you're oh, there's going to be another one. I'll go next time. Or there's a sport you kind of wanted to play, and then you're oh, I'll try next season or something. And I just feel take advantage of the time you have in high school, because it really is your last couple years of being a kid, and you just kind of enter adulthood afterwards. And so I would definitely say to just take advantage of the time you have left of your childhood.
Nice. I like that. That's great. Ben?
I would say image isn't everything. You got to be yourself. Even though you may not see it now, it doesn't really matter what people thought of you freshman year, because it all changes. Just get through it. You got it, I guess. I don't know.
That's great advice, right? Just be yourself right from the get-go, right? Because it will change. I mean, I think that's a lot of people's experience, and the thing is I'm not speaking for Ben, but I'm just saying, I feel you lose a lot of friends in high school if you're one of those people that always tries to impress people from the get-go, because you can't impress everybody all the time. And once they find out what's going on, they're we're good, right? Interesting.
Yeah, so kind of going off of what Mackenzie said, I would also say to kind of just try to be involved in any way you can, whether that's maybe joining a club, joining a sports team, joining yearbook or ASB or something like that, because it's a great way to make kind of a bigger school feel a little bit smaller. And through that, you can find a lot of people that have kind of similar interests with you, similar values with you. And it kind of helps you find your people. So just kind of being involved, and like Mackenzie said, putting yourself out there and trying something new.
That's great. Thank you. Jacob?
Can I share 2 pieces of advice?
Please.
I say the first one is kind of what Mackenzie and Paige said, is step out of your comfort zone. Do things that you can never really see yourself doing, because really, in the end, you think you know yourself, but at the same time, you can do something that you never thought you'd do, and then you end up finding a passion for it. The same thing can go for asking that girl out, or finding a new group of friends, or getting new friends. You never can really see yourself doing this because you think you know yourself, but at the same time, you do it, and you're oh wait, I kind of like this. My second piece of advice, I'm going to use a quote from The Office here, is know that you're in the good old days before it's too late. So in the present, just know you're going to look back on this time and be really happy about it. So just kind of enjoy the moment you're at. It's always good to look ahead to college and career and stuff, but it's also really good to enjoy where you're at and the friends you have around you and everything you've experienced. It's really important as well.
I love it. Staying in today, right? Just what we talked about.
For me, some advice I would give would just be to keep going and keep just doing your best, because there's going to be so much stuff that you have to deal with in high school, but it all works out in the end at some point. And like what Jacob said, living in the moment is the best thing you can do. Don't live through your phone. Don't live through anyone else. Live you want to, and just the moment you're in is the best moment you'll be in.
I think for me, going off of kind of what summarizing everyone's, I think you're only going to be in high school once. It's going to be the only 4 years you're going to be a high school student, and honestly, probably living at home you are now. So I think just not taking advantage of the time that you have and like realizing that you're never gonna be a freshman in high school again. Like, and then going off of what Ben said, just be yourself, be confident in who you are. Don't change because of others. You know, that's like, you're gonna find your people by being who you are.
No, I love it. I think that's all great advice.
And all you guys are going to be freshmen in a matter of months, by the way.
Right. The
Just
cycle
letting you all
repeats
know
itself,
that.
right?
And it keeps going, and the wheel keeps turning, right?
That it does.
My advice that I want to throw out there to all the freshmen or eighth graders who are thinking, man, this freshman thing's coming, is kind of a lot of what you guys said. One is don't settle for just the friends who are around you, like the convenient friends. It's real easy for us to do that. Go find friends like these 7 people around this table. You guys are all amazing people. And I know that high school has been a really neat time for you, a good time, a struggle at times, right? If we're real about it. But all of you people are amazing. And so what I would want to tell freshmen is find those folks, you know, find the Paiges and the Keeleys and the Nickis and the Bens and the Jacobs and the Liams and the Mackenzies of the world. Find them and stick to them. And then the last kind of piece is go with God. God's going to be the best friend that you have. And the friend that even when you make mistakes is not going to turn his back on you. So that's my advice for all those little freshmen out there. Freshmen, whether you feel it or not, you are loved. And future freshmen, you are loved too.
Nice. That's great advice. Thank you, Jamie. You know, I'm going to wrap it up with a couple things as well. The first one is don't be so hard on yourself. You know, it's like if you mess up on one test, like it's not the end of the world. I know you will think that it is, but it's not. You know, and obviously you want to do your best, but you know, making mistakes is part of life. You know, and that's why they call them lessons, right? So, you know, when you learn a lesson, learn from it, and also. My second thing would be, you know, make friends. Like James was talking about making friends with people. Make friends with the people that don't have friends. Because I'm telling you, those are the people that you will probably learn the most from. Because they're the people that won't be trying to impress you. They won't be the people that are, you know, have to look at everybody's shoes or clothes or cars or whatever to decide whether or not they're going to be friends or how good they are. And I'm telling you, those are the friends that you will keep for life. And that's what this whole thing is about. You know, I want to thank each and every one of our lovely guests today. You know, it's been an honor hanging out with you guys. You guys are all amazing. I know I speak for Jamie when I say we love you, like he said. And, you know, we wish you nothing but the best. And I know that you guys are all going to be successful in whatever you do. And, you know, like I said, I'm looking forward to spending the rest of your time here and one last camp. And, you know, whatever you guys need, always know that me and Jamie are here for you, right? For now and forever. So thanks again for being on the show. We want to thank everybody else for tuning in to the One Amazing Life podcast. We do this every week, so we will definitely be back again next week. We want to thank our producer, Patrick, again for making this show happen. I want to thank my good friend and co-host, Jamie, for always sitting by my side on this show. And you guys have a great week. Thanks so much.
Everyone
God bless.
Say bye.
Bye.